Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another GT Online video. My name is Saintsfan, and today I have my top 10 list of the best vehicles that you should use in the snow in GT Online. Now, Rockstar did officially say that the snow is gonna last until Christmas Day, the 25th. So you're gonna have a couple more days of this, and I'm sure they will bring it back for New Year's Eve. I'm sure they'll do the same thing, where it comes out next Friday and then goes all the way through New Year's Day. So you'll have a good amount of time in the snow. Well, what vehicles should you be using? Let's start off with the ones that you should be using if you don't want to deal with the snow. This is for the people out there that want to just drive normally. They don't want to deal with the annoyances. They don't want to have their car spinning out. They don't want to deal with all that BS. Well, there are two that you can use, and one of them is kind of shocking. The first one, the Entity XF, the OG Entity. Now, I'm sure there are some other ones that will work, but this one is my go-to snow car for when I don't want to deal with the snow. It's an awesome supercar. It is relatively cheap if you don't have one. I mean, it doesn't have a ton of customization or anything, but for what it is, it does its job. It has a ton of traction, a ton of grip in the snow. It almost treats it like there is no snow even there. So if you want a supercar to take you around the city while the snow is going on and you don't want to deal with all the snow stuff, take out your Entity XF. And then as for a sports car, the one that I found was the best is the LG Retro Custom. I would have thought this one would have been more of a drifty car in the snow, but it turns out it's got a ton of good traction and grip like the Entity XF. This one basically is the same thing as the Entity XF, except it's a sports car. So if you want to have a little bit more customization on your car while you're driving around showing off your cool looks, then bring out your LG Retro Custom. But those two vehicles are some of the better ones for the snow if you want traction and grip. Now, if you want to take advantage of that snow and have some fun, let's go through that list. Starting off, we have the Fudo. This is a sports car, and you actually have some decent customization for it with one of the last updates. But the Fudo is kind of like the simple go-to drifting car without snow. So with snow, it is pretty good. Now, it actually, surprisingly to me, it did have a decent amount of grip when I was testing it. So it's not going to be like all over the place, but I think that's a good thing because you're still going to be able to drive around, but on some of those maybe sharp turns and stuff, you can get a little drift here and there. So if you just want to have a good time driving around and you want to take advantage of that snow, the Fudo is probably one of the better options. One of my favorite options, this is the one I bring out every single year for the snow, the Comet Retro Custom. This thing is a little bit faster than the Fudo, so you do get a little bit more speed when you're going around corners. This thing, I love drifting in it. It's, at least to me, one of the best for that. And look, I'm not a drifter, so I'm sure there's some better ones, especially if you stance them. But for me, just it works. So the Comet Retro Custom, it looks awesome, handles great, and it has that slippery aspect to give you some really awesome drifts. And we actually have one that is kind of like an outlier. The Verla Air. Some of you are like, what the hell is that? That's not even a car in the game. It is. And it came out so long ago, I think a lot of people forgot about it. And if you're like me and you collect stuff and you've been playing for a while, you probably have one of these in one of your 10 garages. So go ahead and bust it out and use it during the snow. Because, I mean, you're never going to use it anytime else, so you might as well get your money's worth. It is kind of the same way with the Comet Retro Custom. It's got some good speed, but I think this one's a little bit slipperier. I think this one, I mean, I can't definitively prove, but just driving in what it felt like it was a little slipperier around those corners. So if you want to go a little crazier with your sports cars, then test out that Verla Air. Maybe a good option. Now, if you want to go off-roading with a sports car, I mean, the Comet Safari is the option, and it's basically the only option. It doesn't really drift at all, but you're not really, I don't think you'd be wanting to do that in this vehicle. It's surprisingly got a decent amount of grip, so when you do go around corners and you're going at a fast enough speed, you're not going to be slipping and sliding. but it is just great for off-road use normally. So in that snow, if you're going off-roading, you're going to get some speed and you're going to get some air when you're hitting those hills and everything, and you're not going to be slipping and sliding, and you're not going to be going all over the place. So the Comet Safari, one of the top off-road sports cars. Now, if you want to go super crazy and have absolutely zero traction, one of the best cars to do that in is the Mamba. I think this is actually a sports car as well. I thought it was a sports classic, but regardless, the Mamba in regular GT line takes like 8 minutes to go. The traction is pretty damn bad, but I think that's the beauty of it. Like, the tires just spin endlessly. And you can see you can do pretty much endless donuts in the snow in the Mamba. And again, if you want to take it a step further, you could stance this and drop it and have even less traction. But the Mamba, if you just want to slip and slide everywhere and have absolutely no control of your car, that's going to be one of your best bets. Now, for more off-road uses, let's talk about some of those vehicles. The trophy truck is actually an awesome vehicle in the snow. One, you get the option to take off everything if you run into those little yellow poles or yellow things in the middle of the road. Everything on your car just pops off, so you get a cool little unique look there. But as far as driving it around, I think this is a good combo because it is fast enough and handles well enough on the roads that you can drive it around. But if you do want to go off-roading, it can also handle that too. And it's got good suspension and it's got good tires and everything, so off-roading is no problem. And it is one of the faster off-roading vehicles, so check out the trophy truck if you're interested in what I just mentioned. Now, if you're tackling mountains, if you're going mountain hunting, if you're going up to the top of Mount Chiliad and all that, there's no better vehicle than the Camacho. The Camacho is the greatest at this. It tackles those mountains so easily. Now, you do have to be careful. It's not a god weapon or a vehicle. It can't go up a 90-degree cliff. So you have to pick and choose your battles when you're going up the mountain. But on most of the cliffs, even at like a 70-degree angle, it feels like this thing can go up it. So if you are going up mountains, if you're doing a lot of sledding, say, with your friends, and you don't want to have to take 10 minutes to go up and down, use that Camacho that you got. And then one of my other favorites to use for off-roading is the Dubsta 6x6. Now this one obviously is a little bit more modern, right? It's a little bit better looking than the other two. This one you may not want to take off-roading as much because it's not as good as the trophy truck or the Camacho. But the one beauty of the Dubs, the 6x6, and this is the reason I love it so much, when you either get hit by a snowball or just like hit a patch of snow, it shows up so much on your car. You'll see here in a second, there's so much snow on the side doors. And I just love that because it shows that you went off-roading or you went somewhere where there's just a ton of snow and now it's on your car. I don't know if it actually disappears or not after a certain amount of time. I don't know if GTA is that realistic with the snow. But if you want to just show off the fact that you're in the snow, that Dubs the 6x6 with a dark colored paint job is just awesome for that. And then two final cars. These are some specialty cars, or I guess three final vehicles here. If you want to go sledding, I mentioned this in my last snow video, but the Blazer Aqua and the Stromberg are awesome for sledding. I think the Blazer Aqua, you can possibly get a little bit more speed if you don't crash. That is the risk you run. The Stromberg sometimes gets stuck, and if you are doing it on certain mountain sides where there's a lot of rocks and trees, obviously you're not going to have a good time. But I guess the benefit of the Stromberg is you can pick it up with the cargo bob, or you can drop it out of the Avenger. I think the Blazer Aqua, you can do the Avenger thing too. Don't think you can pick it up with a cargo bob with someone on it though. But if you do want to go sledding down any of the mountains, those two are the ones you want to pick. And then the final vehicle, this is actually a new vehicle, and I just love it because it's just so much fun without the snow. And the snow, it's an added benefit, really. The Sasquatch. Whether you pick the Nightmare, the Future, or the Apocalypse, that's sort of up to you. But the Sasquatch is just a ton of fun. I didn't truly realize, but the amount of power this thing has is incredible. It plows through basically everything in the game. Like, you can just have any of the front options on, and it just plows through those vehicles. And then you also get the benefit of it being able to jump and boost, or shunt boost if you have that. So just all that combined, this just is a super, super fun vehicle. It works well in the city because you can just plow through things. Works well in the northern parts of the map because you are a monster truck, so you do get over the the rocks and all those little things and hills and stuff. So the Sasquatch is probably one of my most fun vehicles to have in the snow. That's my list. Thank you all for watching. As always, look, there's like 500 vehicles in the game, so I'm sure you'll have some other ones that you maybe think are better. Let me know yours in the comment section below. But thank you all. Hopefully you enjoy this and take advantage of the snow for the next couple of days, because it only comes one time a year, and snow is just awesome in GTA. So thank you all. Have some fun. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.